So do we want to
No, no, no.
start saying something correct about him?
No, yeah, I can edit later. That's fine.
The talent has let us down.
Telling us what it down. Got too many screens open. All right.
You're listening to 515, the Ultra Podcast, the show that invites you into the lives of people who make up the Ultra family. Here's your host for these conversations, Larry Ryan.
Thank you, MJ. Today's episode is an overview of the 10th anniversary Australia race occurring May 10th through the 12th. We share bios for each of the athletes and talk about the first ever live stream of a 515 event presented by Australia and me, Larry Ryan. Today I have two guests on the show because we have so much to discuss. First up is a returning guest who is here to tell us all about the athletes who will be competing in the 2025 Australia race. Welcome back to the podcast, Jeff Morris.
Welcome, Larry, and welcome to all your viewers on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Thanks for coming and sharing this information about the 10th anniversary coming up. Also joining us to share about the lineup of athletes is the man who will be calling them in across the finish line each day, and that is Tim Franklin. Hi, Tim.
Larry, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for joining us today, Tim. Before we get into talking about the 2025 race, Tim, I know you were a racer in 2016, and in that year you actually pulled off second place. Congratulations to you on that. That was year two of the race. Yeah. So that was year two of the race. What I'm wondering is, obviously something happened at year two for you. What brings you back to the race? And, now that we're 10 years in, what's been your involvement over the years?
So it all started in the very first one. In 2015, I crewed for a good mate of mine. He went around year one, and I was like, well, I might have to do it now. So I came back in year two as an athlete. And then I just struck up a really good friendship relationship with the guys behind the scenes, and have kept coming back in capacity as just a general dog's body at the start. And then I worked with Steve, helping him call and announce. And then obviously Steve being so far away, a couple of years couldn't make it. So I undertook being the MC of all pre-race, and then during the race, and then obviously for the awards party. So I just love it. I love to meet the people that are willing to undertake it, and the camaraderie of the team behind the scenes. It's great to catch up with them every year and give back to a sport and event that has given me so much.
Absolutely. And I think that's what happens for everybody who comes out to these races. And there's going to be a lot of new people at the race this year, and hopefully they are hooked in for the next 10 years as well.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Jeff, as I said, we are celebrating the 10th anniversary this year, and you were there in year one as well. Can you tell us a little bit about your race history and how you went from being a crew member to the race director over 10 years?
Yeah, so again, was there in year one back in 2015, crewing for good friend Hayden Lyons. Loved my intro to that world. It was a little while longer before I became heavily involved, but most years I was there for at least a bit of it. And then, kind of took over the reins a couple of years ago when we needed someone to step up as event coordinator. And it's so good working with the dream team in pulling it together, and the communication with athletes leading in, sort of being part of them for over 12 months, really. You talk to some of them before they even apply. Then, that nervousness, they put an application, they can get a spot to race, and then the reality sinks into what they've done if they get a spot. And just watching that progression through people is just awesome. And privileged to be a part of that and get there, be there on Monday, hang medals around some necks, just be there seeing it, and then hearing the stories on the Tuesday. It's just such a special event and format that keeps people coming back. So it's an absolute privilege to be a part of this race, to be honest.
Yeah, and when you were talking about hearing the stories on the Tuesday at the celebration, the awards, that's always been one of the parts that I've always enjoyed as well, because at that point you are hearing about the things that all the athletes have gone through on course, what the crews were doing, and the funny stories that come out, as well as some of the hardships that come out that people go through in these races, and the dark places that they were in as well. And one of the things we're teaming up to do this year as part of your 10th anniversary special is we're going to try and bring those stories to everybody in the world, even before the awards day, because we are going to live stream this event all 36 hours to the world together, your dream team, me here in Vancouver working as producer director, and I'm super excited about this. Tell me, like, I came to you and said, hey, I got this idea. What happened on your end when you heard it, and other than thinking that I was crazy?
Yeah, there's a bit of that. I think I've possibly said it before on your pod. Tuesdays, as a race director, Tuesday can be a bit confronting because you hear these stories and you're like, "Oh, there was a bit of drama out on course that I just didn't know about." The other big race I direct is a 100-kilometre long course race. Now we do 20-kilometre loops on the bike. We do a 6-kilometre run, so it's all very contained. At they're just everyone's spread to the wind. Day two, people can be 150 kilometres away from you. I'm sitting in a shipping container in Noosa, and there's all these things going on. So I guess part of what, when you came to me with that, was, oh, I know Tim can talk, but can we actually talk for 36 hours straight? But I had no doubt that it was going to be able to be engaging because so much happens across those 3 days. It's probably going to start off nice and cruisy, that swim. You can't really talk to a lot of athletes while they're swimming, but once they're out of water, it's going to be mayhem for the next 33 hours of racing, because that day one, you've got the people, the fast swimmers, slow cyclists, slow swimmers, fast cyclists. You've got crews of so many of our new athletes that are going to be finding their way. It's such a skill. I don't know how you describe it, but you can do all the planning you want in the world. But when you hit that road on day one and you're like, are we seeing our athlete enough? Are we not seeing them? Are we getting to where they need to turn in time? And that first day is massive for the crews to find their feet and go, we're here for our athlete. This suddenly turns this individual sport into a team sport. Mm-hmm. Are we doing well? And those stories that we're going to get you and the teams out on course to cover are going to give some people that have been around 515 stuff but not being involved. It's going to blow their mind, and I think it's going to show some people that this is an amazing thing that they want to be a part of in future.
Mm-hmm. And the concept that we have is that we're going to show everybody out on the course. We're going to have a few stations set up where there's cameras. Tim's going to be out there talking as people go by, and we're going to have other people set up doing the same things. We're going to have a lot of guest commentators coming in, past athletes coming in to give their perspective. And we also are going to invite all of the crews to submit update videos as well. So we are going to try and cover the entire course the entire time. So we're actually going to cover it better than if you were there, because you're going to be able to see what's happening on every part of the course, not just the part you're on. And so often the part you're on is so much fun. You're leapfrogging with other crews and you're getting to know them. We're going to get to do that all around the course. And I think it's going to be a very special event. And Tim, are you prepared to speak for 36 hours if you need to?
Yeah, well, I think the people that know me know that should be pretty easy, to be honest. But yeah, it's always massive days, right? Like it's 12 hours on the race, but we've got a couple of hours of setup beforehand and a couple of hours of packing down afterwards. So they are enormous days for the crew. But I consider myself the talent, so I try and avoid doing any heavy lifting as much as I possibly can.
Do you have a special badge that you wear around your neck, Tim? Do you have like an all
I don't think
access?
I need that anymore. I don't think I need that anymore, Larry. I think people just know who I am now.
It does. It says, my mum says I'm special.
Well,
Pete Hudson's in Melbourne at the moment, and a little shiver went down his spine. He's just like, what just happened?
It's, they are big days. It's going to be awesome. I think bring it to life. The way that you've gone about it this time, Larry, is going to be pretty cool, I reckon.
yeah, and I'm hoping it all comes together. I'm sure there'll be some technical difficulties as there are with any technology things, but we'll get through those and we'll make sure that we're presenting this out to the world and making it interactive as well. One of the things I want the people to know, this is going to be completely interactive, where we're going to have a chat going on the side, and we want people to chat with one another. We want people to ask questions. We will be like having little Kahoot quizzes for trivia for the past 10 years. We're going to do all kinds of things to make it interactive. And if people watching are having their own little watch party, if there's like a family together somewhere watching the YouTube and they're following their athlete, we want them to send us a video of what this is us watching you watch. Like, we want it to be completely interactive, and hopefully it's a super special event.
I think it will be. I mean, 10 years of stories being told, and we get to write another chapter this year, and it's it's going to be splashed all over the internet. Can only be a great thing.
Mm-hmm. So let's take the opportunity now to introduce the listeners to who the people are that are going to be racing this year. And some of them have crews out there with past racers as well, and experienced crew members. So we'll try and touch on some of those people as well as we go through the list. Now, I know that this year you have a smaller female contingent. There's 5 females. And as of recording this podcast, you are down to 36 male competitors for a total of 41 people. It was well into the 50s originally signed up. And you have athletes representing 7 nations. So, Jeff, maybe we'll come back to you on this and tell us a little bit about these 5 women. We'll start with the women. Introduce who they are, where they're from.
Yes, that's exciting. We can kick off with one of our internationals. So someone that's been eyeing off a 515 distance race for a while, Nicola from South Africa. Been sharing lots of her journey online, which is great. Her doing a lot of training with her husband, Hanu. It's actually been really cool to see some of those videos, and she's really clear about you need that support network to get to the race. So she's had a great journey so far, and I know she's excited about getting to Australia, coming across from South Africa and meeting a lot of people and seeing some of Australia and doing the race. So a great way to start off the introduction with one of our internationals.
Mm-hmm. And I saw that she also does a lot of the extreme races. In her application, she has done the Norseman X Tri. She's done a couple of X Tris where she's often one of the top finishers, and that she has had multiple 70.3 podiums and age group wins. So at least at that distance, we know she's competitive. So it'll be interesting to find out how she does at this longer 5:15 distance.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely knows how to knock off those hard races, that long distance, but plus the hard conditions that come with it. I think anyone that finishes Norseman's obviously got a fair amount of physical and mental strength. So yeah, she's going to give it a good crack, and been knocking out some good training volumes, not knocking herself around too much. And I think it's going to get here, and obviously, as you mentioned, with those a few wins in slightly shorter things, obviously has a bit of pace there. So let's see how that body holds together across 3 days in Noosa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you said, Larry, not just turning up and going through the motions, but really giving it a nudge right at the front of the field each time she steps on the start line. Mm-hmm. And when you said earlier that it's a small female field, I think over the years we've prided ourselves on having such a large female contingent, where we've had up to 33% of the field being female. This one's a little bit shorter, but geez, there's some quality amongst the 5, that's for sure.
Oh, most certainly.
I did like Nicola's. I did like Nicola's comment just before we move on. I
Yeah.
do like, she's only done, only, that's a terrible thing to say, but she's done one Ironman. And her comment was, I just like the extreme stuff more. So, yeah,
Yeah.
let's do an Ironman. We've ticked that box, but let's go and do some hard stuff now. So, jump onto Norseman and other extreme tries. So, yeah, that's pretty impressive. So, yeah. So yeah, next is Kathy Luffhouse. So yeah, a few Ironmans behind her, been to Kona. So can do the long stuff. Obviously got a bit of pace behind anyone that gets a spot at Kona. Is doing pretty well. So
And I saw she also has an ambition to get into stand-up comedy. So hopefully she has a great little speech at the end of this event.
well, yeah, let's get her on the live at the end of each day and
I'll
see if she's got
definitely,
enough energy to be funny.
I'll definitely hit her up for a chat on the mic if she's going to tell some gags.
So next one is Kirsty Sheehan, a returning athlete. So she's athlete 168, so raced back in 2018. Kirst is a speedster. She can punch out really quick times. She still is a coach. She's dropped off a bit of her coaching. She's actually moved to my neck of the woods lately, moved from Brisbane, where Tim lives, up to Harvey Bay for a bit of a sea change. Has absolutely targeted. She was going to try and race last year, but she's had a bit of shoulder injury. I think if she sneezes violently, she pops a shoulder out these days. It's a bit secondhand, that poor shoulder of hers. But is a superb athlete. Look, not only probably will be the first female home, she's probably going to give it a nudge to be the first finisher overall. And I know that there's been a little bit of chat about looking at the course records. So look, it's going to be amazing to see her out on course. I know that she's put a lot of time in and has targeted this race really now for 2 years. Got a super experienced crew that were with her last time. Her husband's on that. And then Lisa and Craig, who have been part of the dream team. So that whole team thing's coming together for her. And it could be a perfect storm in a couple of weeks, and we could see an amazing performance out of Kirst.
Yeah, well, she's second female when she raced back in 2018. So she's obviously coming here with intentions to go one step higher on the podium. But phenomenal, something like 36 Ironmans under the belt, just pedigree after pedigree after pedigree. It's going to be pretty extraordinary to watch her roll around.
Yeah, and that Ironman time, her best one that she has recorded is a 9 hours 42 minutes, which is actually the fastest Ironman recorded of all the athletes competing. So, yeah, she might be right up there at the pointy end of this race. Her time in 2018 was 24:25. So I'm sure she's found many ways to take time off of that and get to the finish line each day a little bit quicker.
Yeah, so then we move on to Leanne Coghill. So fourth of our fifth ladies. So first time for Leanne, she was going to give it a crack last year, but the planets didn't quite align, but she's back here this year. Leanne lives on course. She is going to run right past her front door on day 3 twice. So she's kind of excited about that. Lot of time in triathlon. She says she's been racing triathlons for 31 years, done a whole stack of IMs, 18 in total. So, yeah, someone who's obviously knows how to get to that finish line and has definitely been preparing again for a couple of years to make this happen.
The same as Kirsty. Leanne's just got years and years of experience and just a number of races under the belt. I don't think there's necessarily a direct correlation between Ironman racing and racing 515 distance, but it can only help to have that bank of training under your belt. So another lady, another strong lady, unbelievable strength in the 5 when we have racing.
Mm-hmm.
And not only the crew that she's got racing, but Leanne's got Mel Halschelt as her coach, who's an ex 70.3 world champion, and very, very experienced and very, very good athlete in her own right. So she'll be there on course, hopefully, and we might get to see her. But yeah, pretty good mentor to have coming into an event like this.
Yeah. And I also noticed that in her crew, she's listed a woman named Jessica Mundy, and she says that she was a TV producer on The American Survivor for 15 years. So if we get the opportunity, can we connect her with Nick Millett? Because I know Nick has been trying to get on Survivor for probably 15 years. Nick has volunteered to be one of our guest commentators as well. So he'll be popping into the live stream and sharing some of his knowledge of the course. He was one of the people that were there before day one, helping to design that course with Tony. So we should get a lot of good information from Nick when he pops into the broadcast and helps out.
Yeah, he's another one that lives on course, knows a lot of the space around that. And as you say, he was himself with Tony and Craig and Wayne and those guys that refined the course. That's pretty much stayed the same for 10 years now. As I remap a couple little bits of Coolum that the police have chipped us about. But yeah, overall, it's the same course that those guys designed. So it's great to still have Nick around and be a part of the live coverage to hear his take on things.
Yeah, because usually he's pretty quiet and doesn't have an opinion.
I won't say anything.
Who's the next female on the roster?
Look, next female is someone pretty special. So Kelly Ridges is our fifth and final female that's racing. Kelly has taken on Australia 5 times previously. So, people kind of, the name Dave Carroll is synonymous with doing a lot of Australias, but Kelly quietly went about her business for the first 5 years as well, doing the race. Now, she's been a little bit quiet in the last few years. As we know, life gets in the way, but I've actually been talking to Kelly for a couple of years. Since I took over the race, I kind of knew that she'd moved a little bit away from the family, or the family had lost a little bit of contact with her, but I thought it was really important for someone who'd competed in the first 5 events that they were their family for life. So, I'd been talking to Kelly for a couple of years leading into the 10th anniversary. She was going to be here regardless, and it was just a question of whether she was actually going to race. And much to your frustration, as you know, she didn't actually put an application in, which is where we collect a bit of our data and those couple of phone calls and emails from you going, "What's going on with Kelly? I don't know anything." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, she's a special one. She doesn't need to apply when you've done 5 Australias. You can pick up the phone to me and go, 'Hey, I want to give it a crack,' and you're going to get a spot." But it's really special to have Kelly back. She's bringing some of her crew back that helped her back in those years. Looking forward to welcoming her back into the fold and seeing how she goes around. She's said that training, 5 or 6 years down the track from her last one is a little bit of a different beast. So she's learning some lessons about how her body's changed in the last few years. So, but she'll be doing it with a smile on her face, and looking forward to seeing her on that Monday and hanging a medal around her neck on Main Beach on Monday.
Yeah, and I think I think it can't be underestimated how hard completing 5 Ultraman Aussies in 5 years is. I mean, backing up the training, mentally preparing, logistically preparing, going again, making sure you've got that many friends that can support crew you, because you're going to burn a couple each time you race. It's actually really phenomenal. So I think am I correct in saying if she undertakes her 6, is that the most?
No, because Dave's done 6 as well.
Dave done 6, so she'll be.
Dave's done 6. Yeah,
she'll be comfortably the female with the most.
Yeah. Yep. Well, yep.
Yep. Yep. And not only that, but I love her background as well. I mean, she goes in. She's classic Kelly. She was like world class jump roper. basically Queen skipper.
Yeah.
And not only that, she's also launches into pole dancing and all sorts of crazy stuff. So if you get a chance to, no doubt we'll get a chance to talk to her over the weekend.
Yeah. And you're talking about how you burn a few friends for crew. She listed one of her friends, Sherry, as a friend of 30 years that's coming, who's actually going to be spending her 50th birthday there on the weekend. So maybe make
What a
sure you
beautiful
give.
spot to have your 50th birthday.
Yeah. And make sure you get her a little something from Kenilworth for her birthday.
We will definitely head to the bakery for it.
Donuts are always welcome.
All right. Well, that's all the women that are racing, and obviously, as Tim has said, that for the fact that there might be few of them, there's a lot of quality there, and I think that'll be a very competitive race to be watching, including possibly even having the overall champion come out of the women's field. So let's move over to the men's field. We'll go through them by age group, and maybe, Jeff, we can add their ages as we go by with these. Yeah, we have their ages. We can add their ages in as we go by. So starting with the young people, what do you have in your 20 to 29 category?
Yeah, so we start with the 24-year-old Ollie Whiteley. So Ollie's first time at an Ultraman. He's done Ironman Australia, so he has got an Ironman under his belt and a couple of ultra trail runs. So he's super keen to come up. He's got a passion to promote his Indigenous culture here in Australia, which dovetails great with the fact that we've got Zatisha's painting featuring on our merchandise this year to acknowledge the Gubbi country on which we race here and touch many parts of the country. So Ollie's super keen to connect with that as well and be in a different space and be welcomed here by the Gubbi people from where he welcoming him from where he's coming from. So we know how hard these races are, and at 24 years old, that's pretty young in ultra terms. But I know Ollie's got some good people behind him, and we'll give it a good crack.
Yeah, he's part of Tri-Mob, which is a huge contingent of triathletes, Indigenous triathletes here in Australia, doing great things, not only for the sport but for their community as well. And it is a family affair. I see his mum and dad are his crew, so they'll tell him what to do, no doubt.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of the athletes in your race have mom and dad coming to the race as their crew members. Often people have spouses that come, but you seem to have a lot of moms and dads this year coming. Is that normal at your race?
Probably not normal, but maybe spouses have got together and talked to each other about it, and thought maybe it's best off if someone else comes. But there's always family involved. Yeah, definitely across the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess part of the thing, and this is why UM Australia is such a cool thing. It's a fantastic destination to come. So yes, there's 3 pretty full-on days in there, but it's a bloody good place to come and visit and have some family time. And we all know what it takes to get to these races and what an achievement it is. And I think you'd be proud of your child having committed to it and completed it, and then the ability to literally be a part of it, a integral part of it. I think any parent would want to be involved. So, if you've got the relationship with your parent, we know it could be high stress at times. That could be a good or a bad thing. They're the people that probably knows you best in your life. I think that probably, if I thought from my point of view, it's probably a really good thing sometimes. Someone knows you, they've seen you be through tough times in whatever it was in life. Well, this is going to be pretty tough, and they might know how to push your buttons to get you going when you're in that funk in the hole.
Mm-hmm. All right, who do we get up next, Jeff?
So next one is Aaron Croft, so 27-year-old, coming to us from England via Western Australia at the moment, is where he's living. So he's looks like he's put it out there that he obviously can swim a bit. He thinks he's going to swim under 3 hours, which we'll be interested to see. Has recently done some 100K runs, so going to be okay on Monday as well. So let's see how he goes between the swim and the run. Righto. So next one is Tim Belstead, 28-year-old. Hutto would say he's from overseas, but he's actually from Australia. He's from Tassie. He was introduced to by knowing one of the dream team, Jason Clark. So Tim is an absolute superfish. It's no secret. He's put it out that he wants to take the swim record off Damon Faint. We're probably going to be the first one that we see out of the water in your live coverage, Larry, on the Saturday. So, yeah, look, 9:47 Ironman. So it might be superfish, pretty obvious. You can ride and run a bit too. You don't get single digits in an Ironman without being pretty quick. So, yeah, let's see how he goes with the long stuff. He's sponsored by Tassel Salmon, which is probably where the good swimming comes from. He's smashing the Infinite Nutrition into him, so he obviously he's going to be fueled right. And he's raising it for a foundation called the Alex Gadomski Fellowship. They're named after his cousin who died from bone marrow failure at a young age. So, yeah, he's got some extra meaning to be out there, and he's someone that certainly has probably got a lot of information from Jace about what the race is going to take to compete. And I know Jace was very excited when Tim pulled the trigger to apply 12 months ago for the race. So, yeah, going to be cool to see that swim go, because it's going to be, I think it's going to be pretty special from what I've seen of his training and what Jason's been telling us about how Tim's been going down there.
And also he's coached by Zolt Dallas, who's a big name, great athlete here, Australia as well. So again, good pedigree, good knowledge coming in.
Yeah, and just reading through his bio, he seems to put a little bit of character into it as well, even just in describing his crew. One of his crew holds a national masters record swim in the breaststroke, which he was poking a little bit of fun at. But hey, national record, come on!
I think it's for 1,500 meters as well.
Yeah,
that's no joke. That's 1,500 meters of breaststroke. That's no joke.
Yeah, so.
I'll just shut up because I just want to be juvenile.
So I'm guessing that's his brother James. Yeah, brother James. Yes. So he seems like he'll be a bit of a character, and one that you might be able to get some good comments from too, Tim.
Absolutely. He's on my radar. That is for sure.
Yeah. Do we have to go to the next category now?
So next one, yeah. So moving into the 30-year-olds. So we've got Nicholas Chapman, who lives in WA. He's got some heritage tracking back to Brazil. So he actually has noted that he's officially representing Brazil. But I know he is an Aussie. He lives in WA. He's a geologist, so he loves playing with rocks. He did a pretty entertaining Y video up on Facebook. So yeah, you can get into Facebook and Insta and see a lot of the Y videos. Not everyone does a Y video. These people seem to be able to train for 515 kilometres of triathlon and 3 days of extreme pain, but it's too scary to sit in front of a camera. So we don't get everyone's why, but it's a good intro to some of them about what makes them tick. And Nick's was certainly pretty entertaining. So he's another one that's going to be pretty speedy on the swim. Rottnest Island, so racing the Sharks from Rottnest Island, 20 Ks in 5 hours 24, he said, and his qualifier 10K swim was 2 hours 31. So that's up there as far as fast swim times go. So maybe Timmy Belstead will have someone on his toes for a bit of that swim in Noosa.
Yeah, and then he's put together, some reasonable times as well. Last year's IM New Zealand, he rolled around in sub 12 hours, which is always good going, especially when you're just new to the sport, especially coming from a swimming background as well. You'll quite often see triathletes come from either a running or a cycling background, but coming from a swimming background, it's a little bit more adaptation. So, Yeah, I don't think we'll be mentioning his name a little bit, I'd suggest, especially early on in day one, and then we'll see how he goes from there.
And I see that he has a former Ultraman finisher on his crew as well, and that's Mark Williams, who was the final finisher the year that he competed in 2022. So they will have the idea of how to, make sure that they are making those 12-hour cutoffs each day too. So he's got the stress that the crew goes through when your athlete is close to not making that cutoff. He ran an 11:48:52. Some people have gone much closer to the 12 hours than that. And the crew are doing math like crazy. This is one of the things that hopefully we'll get to see a little bit of in the live stream as well, is the franticness that happens in the crew vehicle. Because up until now, what happens in the crew car has always kind of stayed in the crew car. But what we're hoping with the live stream is that we're going to get some of this what happens in the crew car coming onto the live stream.
And even just managing that as an athlete, like this is why I love I don't care if you're Simon Cochran that does it in under 20 hours or you're, someone that does it in nearly 36. There's things to manage. It hurts to go fast, but it hurts to go for 12 hours each day too. And, if you finish a day in 9 or 10 hours, someone else finishes in 12. They're as buggered as you, but they've actually got 2 or 3 hours less recovery time. So, someone like Mark on his crew is going to be around that. And okay, how do we, if you know how to get to that finish line, but you got to back up the next day, and that's a skill in itself. And yeah, that cutoff stuff can be pretty wild. Last year with Jess Dudley ran very close couple of days, and yeah, you want to math the math, because if you get it wrong, there might be tears.
Yeah,
we'll have to keep an eye on Nick on the run course, because his mum's actually a Pan American roller skating champion. So that's something. Just make sure he doesn't crack open mum's roller skates on run day, I think.
and his fiance, who's the team captain, is also an artistic roller skater, and apparently that's how the two met. So little setup by mom.
Yeah, Mum's done some work.
And his fiance is a dietitian. She needs to have better choice in clients, because I think she's helping Shane Kent, a lunatic who's doing Arc to Arch this year. She's helping him with his nutrition for getting from London to Paris with the run, swim, bike that he'll do. So I know that there's been a bit of a connection there across the country. So yeah, the family spreading far and wide and doing all sorts of cool things.
And Shane is scheduled to drop in and help us out with some commentary as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who is champion from a few years ago now? I can't just escape.
20, what was the year after COVID? 21? 22. Yeah. Yep. So then we move on to Visesh, who's 30 years old, coming from India, competed last year. So he's coming back to give it another crack. Enjoyed it so much last year that he wants to come back again. So yeah, that's really exciting. He's a really humble guy. Just loves putting himself out there, getting the work done, and coming and executing. So it's always exciting when someone comes back. And yeah, he's a really humble guy, and will love every day out there on course, I know.
And an absolute sports nut too.
Yes.
Just a sports nuffy. It's great, because I am as well. So it's great to have another one that I can just talk to all day.
All day.
Well, he listed his hobbies and things that he does as sports writer and sports analyst, so and data analyst. So I can only imagine how those all come together.
Yeah, I'd say by the sounds of it, he knows his way around a spreadsheet.
Yeah. And when I was looking at his results from last year, I saw he had a 5:16 swim. So hopefully he's picked up a few minutes in the swim, so we're not waiting for him too long to come out of the water this year. And his overall time was a 31:12. So it'll be interesting to see what parts of the course he's decided to, focus on and train to pick up some minutes.
Well, I think he wants to go early fours this year. That's the talk of the town.
Okay.
Is that he wants to take an hour to 45 minutes off his swim time. So we'll see. Hopefully we'll have nice flat conditions for him.
Makes it would be a much nicer ride having only swum 4 hours than swimming 5 hours. It's a long time to be laying on your stomach in salt water at 5 hours. So yeah, let's hope he nails that goal. It's all about those little goals that you set yourself, and Tim's got the inside running on that. So yeah, let's see how he goes. Next up, another returning athlete in Josh McCaskill. Josh is another WA person coming across, all these miners from WA. So he, another quiet guy. You couldn't tell he was enjoying it last year. He, a little bit low on the external emotion scale, but obviously loved it. And it was really good. The public stuff was a bit different, but I know I had a couple of chats with Josh, and he did love it. Again, just that challenge and executing so much training to then bring to Noosa and nail the race. And was pretty early on the applications, and is going to come back and give it a crack with his team again this year.
Another one that has mom and dad on the team.
Yep. Partner as team captain and mum and dad along.
And his sisters as well. It's a whole family there.
So his previous time last year was a 29:17, which put him in 15th place. So let's see how much he can move up the ranks.
So yeah, then we move on to Vishnu Prasad. So I think Vishnu, off the top of my head, has got a bit of Sri Lankan heritage, but lived in Australia his whole life. I think he's down in South Australia from memory. Yes, So yeah, another guy that's going about things just ticking boxes. So he gave Ironman WA a crack as his qualifier. So can do that, and then did WA in 23, and then just after applications closed, went around for Ironman Cairns in 24. So again, knows how to finish events off, and does a lot of long distance cycling. So he'll be loving day 2 for sure.
Yeah, so he is probably at the other end of the field to a couple of other swimmers where he's aiming to get it done in under the 6 hours. It's funny because he's got a YouTube channel based around him and him improving his swim, which is very entertaining. But ironically, he's a certified advanced open water scuba diver.
So he's great under the water, just not on the water.
just not trying to move through it at pace. So he seems a ripper too. So that'll be good fun to watch, I think.
Yeah, and he even says in his application that he's never swam more than 4 kilometers. So hopefully by now he has.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yes, there's been some conversations around swimming training. I think he's certainly been focusing on that, and he'll be right. He'll be right at Noosa. So then we move on to 35-year-old Raj Choudhary. Hopefully I've said that right for you, Raj. So Ironman Kazakhstan was his qualifier, and done a few races in short location to each other to try and simulate that load, I guess. Super keen to give UM a go.
And his team is going to be pretty good, is it not?
His team. I was trying to work out how to say this because I get goosebumps when I say this. Look, this is what UM's about. When we did our athlete field, we put out into the public that we needed some people to support our international athletes. And mate, none other than 2024 Australia winner Anthony Vlodmans rang me and said, "Hey mate, I want to help someone else live their dream." So Raj coming from India, and his crew is Anthony and Stacey. So Anthony was the winner. Stacey was his team captain last year, and they are helping him live his dream. I can't think of any sport in any sphere anywhere in the world where this sort of stuff could happen. Max Verstappen's not dropping off to someone's go-kart track to help a kid, win his first race. It does. It gives me goosebumps. And when Lods rang me and said, "Mate, this is what we want to do," it blew me away a bit. But it's what I love about this sport, what we do with this sport, that those sort of things happening. So he's going to be here with his daughters. But Lods and Stacey are going to run the team for him and get him around the course for 3 days in Noosa. Who we got then? Next one in age, Josh Dutton at 37. So Josh is a plumber from New South Wales, coming up to do the race, 11:16 Ironman time, so pretty speedy, and did a fairly entertaining intro video as to his why. So if you haven't seen that yet, jump on the socials. It will be scroll through. By the time the podcast comes back, it'll be about a week ago, I think. But have a little look on the socials about his why, and keep an eye out on the live, because I'm sure that him and his team are going to be pretty entertaining across the 3 days on the live coverage too, given the strength of their videos they've submitted for us at the moment.
Yeah, I'll see. It's his brother, his girlfriend, and then mates. So his support vehicle might be the one to be around.
and another one who mum's there with him. So mum's coming along for the ride.
Yeah.
So next one, coming back for a third crack, Boris Bakouline. So Boris is, I think, still living in Melbourne, but dreams of moving to Noosa. I think he's still trying to convince Jess that that's a good idea. He's a super fish. He'll be there. He'll be out of the water in under 3 hours. I think he was fastest swimmer last year. So we're not. We're going to have to eat our breakfast quick to catch Boris out of the water. But coming back for his third crack this year. So yeah.
And his previous time, 2024, was 26:55.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think I compared it to his 23 time, but he has said that he's going to throw the roadie in the bushes and get on a TT bike. So I think he's 2025. He's going to be more serious. Not that he wasn't serious previously, but we know the TT bike, although it's a bit more uncomfortable, is definitely a bit quicker, especially when you're taking on 420 odd kilometres. So you're going to give up a little bit of time on those climbs, but definitely you're going to be speedier on the bulk of the course on a TT. So let's see how we go.
Jeff, this might be a good time to talk a little bit about your course for people that aren't familiar with the course. How challenging is the bike course? How much elevation do you have? How many hills are there? I mean, it seems to me you're living in Australia. It's on the beach. It's got to all be flat, right?
Well, it's interesting. Pretty much when we talk about, Tony and Craig Purcell and Nick and those guys going around in, 2013, 2014 building the course, pretty much what they did was search the Sunshine Coast for where there's hills and headed in that direction. We're on the coast, but we head west away from the coast and hit quite a number of hilly areas. So I think ballpark we're about 1,500 metres day one and about 25 to 2,800 metres day two. Look, when you add that into there's a few real dead roads out there. They don't give you much love. The road surface is good, but it's not beautiful, smooth stuff because we're using to use a British term, we're using B roads. We can't use A roads because they're too busy. So we're on some roads that don't get used as much. So the road surface isn't amazing. So you don't get a lot of love from the road surface, and then suddenly you hit a climb. So yeah, there's a couple of little sneaky little pinches on day one, and then the same day two. It is a really I use the term honest course. So yeah, there's not a lot of resting out there. And yeah, we'll see day two. Day two can go one or two ways because we ride back up the coast. Now, the coastline on the Sunshine Coast is actually rolling hills all the way, which is fine if there's no wind or if you've got a southerly pushing you back up towards Noosa. But if you've got a northerly in the afternoon on the Sunday, it's not a nice ride back. It's beautiful scenery looking at the ocean. But if you're riding into a 20 kilometre an hour, 30 kilometre an hour headwind for about, look, I'm going to say it's about 40 kilometres, that ride from Bly back up to Noosa, that's tough at the back end of day two. And that's where we talked about crews doing the math. You're working on averages, but averages aren't good when you're now doing point to point into a headwind. You're doing some hills. They're hurting. It's a beautiful course. And I really encourage people to get up here and drive it that are crewing, because when you crew, you're going to miss some of it. But if you've done some course recce's in the days leading in, it's not just nice, it's spectacular. Some of the places we take you on the Sunshine Coast are truly spectacular. You're driving past literal lookouts on some of these climbs. And it's a place you would come to holiday and have a little driving holiday and go and visit this pub and this cafe. And they're literally places that we take you past each day one and day two, to a pure holiday destination. And you're doing it as part of a race. So, yeah, it's tough, but it's just when it's going to break you, it gives you a beautiful view somewhere and some nice scenery, and you go, right, I can do this and keep going.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's just a really honest course. If you've done the work, you'll be rewarded come race day. But it is, I think on my beach at the awards dinner, I said I've been lucky enough to be a fair few places around the world, and I think you go a long way to find a better bike course than the one that we've got over the 420 Ks. Yeah, it's pretty amazing, to be honest.
And I'd say day one is out and back. But day two, because we loop, there's a short bit that we touch twice, but it's actually it's almost unique road the whole way. And we take you from the coastal stuff out to some farming land, almost rainforesty, some of it, and then back again, and yeah, that last ride up the coastline's just beautiful, and it's then that bit of the road is what you're going to run along the coastal path on day three. So you then get a different view from ground level and literally at beach level as you run it, whereas you've kind of been up on the elevated road riding back on at the end of day two. So it is pretty special, and anyone wants to come out and give it a crack, or wants to come out and crew for someone, always looking for helpers, and it's a beautiful way to see an amazing bit of the world. Righto, so we got Adam Bothwell, so 38, so we're almost at the end of our 30s to 40s. So Adam's been on a bit of a recovery journey. He talks about having lived a bit of a wild life early on, and then did his Ironman, but went, there's something more here. I've got more to give, and here he is on the start line for Ultraman. So looking forward to see him give it a crack. He obviously has battled some demons, and then wants this to be another thing that he achieves in his life in getting through it. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to see out there on course. That's got his mates here crewing for him, and then mum and dad coming to watch him and be part of his race as well.
Yeah. And that's not an uncommon story. Like, for all the people that I've talked with on the podcast, there are a number of people who are making exercise their way of exercising past demons or addictions that they've had issues with. And obviously, the exercising part that goes into this becomes the new addiction for a lot of them. I guess it's a healthy addiction in some ways, but that's totally a common thing amongst the people that are taking part in these 5:15 events.
Yeah, it's definitely a well-worn path in endurance sports for sure.
Okay, so the next one's another international. So Sadanand Amarapur from India. So he's coming out with his family again. So his wife's coming and a brother-in-law to crew. We're getting some extra help for him out here as well. I think my memory serves me correctly. Crew legend Anne Evans. I can't think, but yeah, we've got someone that's helping him out. Has got a couple of 10K swims under his belt. So yeah, it looks like he'll be nice and slow and steady. And says he's got an ambition to swim the English Channel. So yeah, see how that goes for him.
Yeah, and got some Ironman Kazakhstan under the belt, 70.3 at Goa. Numerous marathons, so numerous long swims, so definitely a lot of endurance pedigree there. So I'd be surprised if it worried him. That's just about how fast he can go.
Mm-hmm. And he's done something that probably not a lot of people have done, and that he has cycled across India. So he did a total of 3,800 kilometers in 14 days and 14 hours cycling across India, which I'm guessing is C roads in a lot of cases, not just B roads.
I think C roads might be better.
I was going to say, I think C roads is where they start. Last in our 30 to 39 age group is Ryan Wosley. So Ryan... another of our WA athletes, so coming across the country. So, for those of you outside Australia that don't realise, we are pretty much, I don't know exactly, but we're as big as the US. So when we say someone's coming from WA, they're sitting on a plane for, you'd probably know better than me, Tim, 5 hours is the flight from
5.5
from WA. So it's if you lived in Europe, you've just gone across the whole continent. But in Australia, they're still Australians, and they're 5.5 hour flights to get here. So it's a big logistical effort from them. So he's done his local Ironman, so Ironman Busselton, which is over on the west coast, 10:41, which is nothing to sneeze at, and has knocked off some ultra runs to build that as well.
Yeah, not just knocked off these ultra runs, but he has got some fairly good pedigree in there. He's Lark Hill, it's the 100K trail run, and he second placed it. So he ran, he's running sub 7 minute kilometers across a 100-kilometer trail run. So I think he can move, to be honest, when it comes to running. So it'd be interesting to see how he's placed come day 3. He obviously can swim. He can ride a bike to a degree. He's gone 10:40 in Ironman multiple times. So that'll be good. That'll be a good little test come day 3 to see where he's positioned, and if he's in a position to push it and put maybe pressure on people that potentially could be ahead of him.
Yeah, that's another one of the things about 5:15 racing is that so much can happen in day 3. You can have an hour lead or more. And if something goes wrong for you and you blow up, or even you just mess your nutrition up a little bit, people that are an hour behind you can be catching up and passing you because it's over such a long distance, that 84-kilometer double marathon.
Well, that's exactly right. And that's why you see people that potentially are not as strong in the swim, but then can put big time into the athletes come the bike and the run, because it's just so long.
Mm-hmm. And I should probably at this point bring you around to Tim's long run, listener, because some of you, I think in Australia, you're getting to be pretty well known. From what I can tell, you're on all the news channels and people are like asking for autographs and things like that. But Tim's been working on a big event that he completed, and that was to just, run around the world. Nothing big. Tim, can you tell us a little bit about the Tim Runs the World?
Yeah, so I don't think my fame's that much. I don't often have to sign. I mean, Jeff always asks me for photos. Um, so on the 30th of December, sorry, that's not true. On the 30th of June last year, 2024, I actually completed my run around the world. So I covered 26,245 kilometers on foot to run across five continents, starting in Brisbane in Australia, which is my hometown, and then finishing in the same place. So it took 576 days, averaged about 50, just over 50 kilometers a day, ran across 19 countries, as I said, five continents, and just became the eighth person in history to complete the endeavour. And I was aiming to be the fastest, didn't quite get there, and I'm the second fastest to complete the endeavour. And yeah, it was one hell of a journey. So it all started with triathlons back in the day, and then into ultra triathlons such as Oz, and then morphed into ultra running, and then the challenge to run around the world was presented to me as a thing in 2017. And from then I just worked towards it. And then on the 3rd of December in 2022, I started, and then 576 days later, I finished, and it was amazing journey. I got to run the length of New Zealand. I ran across the US, ran across South America, Chile and Argentina specifically, then ran the length of the Thames River in England, and then crossed Europe from Portugal all the way across to Romania, so from sea to sea, and then I did a little bit of Asia, running Singapore and Malaysia, and then I finished by running just under 8,000 kilometres, taking the long way across Australia and just hugged the southern coastline. So I started in Perth and then ran all the way along the coastline through South Australia, Victoria, up along the coast of New South Wales and into Brisbane to finish. And it was a journey that I'll never forget, that had the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. So that's it, and it's good. I mean, I loved it, but it's good to be back. Good to be back with the team doing this. But yeah, amazing journey.
Yeah, and it's I think there's probably some more stories there that we got to get you back on the podcast and just do you as a guest, and we can hear a little bit more about those things.
Yeah, well, if I apologize immensely, but if I ever responded to one of your emails, we would probably make it happen. So yeah, I'd love to do it. Yeah, go into a bit of a deep dive because there's so much I learned. And then I want to, inform and educate people, not just that want to do really long events like endurance events, but to be fair, I learn a lot about what life is like, and that knowledge I want to impart on as many people as possible.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you guys are going to have some time in the 36 hours across weekend to have a little chat here and there about that, just quietly.
That's true. I don't think that'd leave much time for anything else, though.
Ultra talking, Tim's new sport.
I think that's my initial sport.
Right, let's keep going. We've got to get to our 40-year-olds.
All right.
That's true.
So we got another international kicking off the 40 to 49. So Praveen Aggarwal coming to us from India. So done some IMs around the world. So Copenhagen, Kalmar, Busselton. So obviously got some Australian stuff there. Sadly, his dad won't be with him. He lost his dad just over 12 months ago. And so he's dedicating doing to his dad. But his mum will be out here along with his wife and children. So that's a pretty good reason to be out here and finishing the race.
Mm-hmm. And he's got quite a few races. He's got 40 full distance Ironman races and 100 marathons over the last 25 years. He says so. I don't think we have to worry about him being prepared for the race.
Righto. So next one is Richard Gilby. So Richard's 42. let's say obviously Australian. Pretty sure Richard's
From my neck of the woods. Yeah.
Brizzy. I was going to say he's then Brizzy weight. Yeah,
Obviously a good guy.
obviously. Uh, so his team captain's his dad. There's a theme here, Larry. We'll have to do some stats on who has a parent that is their team captain. But mum and dad, I don't know how you decide. Mum and dad are there. He's put dad as team captain, mum as his next crew member. So we'll see see how we go. But his daughters and son are coming along too to help out. So let's see how Richard goes.
Yeah, plenty of racing as well, and a really solid Ironman Australia, just over 12 hours, but he had bike issues. So that's rock solid. That'll be, if you take those bike issues out, and suddenly he's not out of the realms of some being around. If he's got the endurance, he could be there and thereabouts come Monday.
Yeah, and I see that he has also got 24 years of service in the Army. And I know for Tony Horton, the originator and owner of the race, the people that do the race that are part of any of the services is an important part for him. Maybe you can expand on that a bit, Jeff.
Yeah, so we have an award called the Ultramate. So basically, when people enter the race, we just ask them if they have served. So we're talking Defence Forces, also police, fire, ambulance, some of that frontline important stuff, people that keep us safe. And as mentioned, Tony has a lot of service with the Australian Army. So we have an award for the fastest finisher, who is someone who's served in the Defence Force or those frontline services. So so Richard will be in the running for that one, along with a few others that have let us know that they've served their country. Moving along to 43-year-old Ryan McKenzie. Now, Ryan was going to have a crack last year at scored a spot by accident. I don't know how you do this by accident, do a 100-miler by accident. But, qualified at Kosciuszko to go to Mont Blanc and race the 100-miler at UTMB Mont Blanc, which was a couple of months after last year's race. But coach's instructions were, hey, let's focus on running and knock the 100 miles out of the way in Mont Blanc in 2024, and then come back and do in 2025. So I know Ryan's super keen, put a lot of prep into it. And is keen to have a good time up in Noosa.
Yeah, and again, some really good pedigree there. A lot of racing, 70.3s, a handful of Ironmans, and then heaps of running. I mean, 7+ 100K ultra marathons. It's just nonsense.
Yeah, because who would do that, Tim?
Exactly. I don't know. It's too far in a day. Stick to 80 max, 84. There's no point running more than 100.
Oh dear. Righto, well now we come to a famous Australia name, and then the name is Wheatley, but it's a different Wheatley that we introduced first. 43-year-old Andrew is coming to have a crack at Australia this year. Lots of experience with his family as crew and supporting, but first time for him. Now, you'll be pleased to know this gives an insight to the mind that is Andrew Wheatley. His occupation is a jelly wrestling coach. Maybe give you some tips, Tim.
Yeah, jelly wrestling's right up there in my forte.
Hey, yeah. Look, I've no doubt Andrew's been around the race long enough. He's going to break it down day by day. He'll get there. He's a 13-hour Ironmaner, so he knows how to finish off those races. But has lots of experience. Mum and dad are his crew, and just quietly, his dad's done a few Peter Wheatley. We'll have to jump in to see. I think 3. Has he done 3 or 2? Jimmy, I can't remember.
He's got 3.
Off the top of my head.
3. Yeah, I couldn't quite remember. My apologies. I'm no Steve King when it comes to the data.
I took a few moments to check out some of his stuff earlier. So he's done 2015, 16, and 17.
Yeah,
and they're all right around 29 hours. He's super consistent on all 3 of those.
Yeah.
And I
So,
think
yeah,
Peter's done something like 60, some extraordinary number of Ironman as well. Like, so yeah. So
Pete
it's got
Pete
good.
was Pete Andrew's dad was going to race this year. He initially did put an application in, but then he withdrew it. I don't know whether he was worried about his body holding up or whether he just wanted to be there for the boys as they took on their race. So yeah, but it'd be amazing to have all the Wheatleys back. Yeah, obviously lots of family coming up to crew and cheer. But Andrew's the first of the boys that is actually racing. So yeah.
And another note about one of Peter's races that he raced in the same year as Matt, and he beat Matt. So I don't know how the family competition level goes with those three, but Pete has at least one on Matt. So we'll have to see how that works out with Andrew and Matt.
Well, I just had a look. I was like, I wonder if they scissor paper rocked it for who the parents, Pete and Catherine, who were they going to crew for? Andrew or Matt, how that worked out, or whether Matt said, you can have them, Andrew. Don't know. We'll get to the bottom of that.
Oh dear. Righto. So next along the line is Reece Byrne. Come along, 44-year-old. So loves his Ironman Australia, done that a few times, and yeah, done a few ultra running events as well. So Reece is not too bad, 11:45 Ironman Australia. So yeah, I'm trying to think. Reece has got yeah, there she is, Jay Gaffey. So previous winner of the race is on his crew. I was trying to just confirm that one. I knew I'd seen Jay's number come through, Jay's name come through as a crewer. And yeah, she'll be on Reece's crew. So having a former race winner's got to be a good step in the right direction to getting to that finish line.
Definitely. And one of the things that I love reading about, like, you know, we get these people to do bios and a little bit of their why, if you will, and so many of them have, is to show like loved ones, like to set goals to achieve them, to show discipline, to be dedicated to something and get to the start line. I think it takes a lot of courage to put your foot on the start line in an event like this, but then obviously also achieving that goal, getting to the finish line, and really showing, and in a lot of cases, it's kids that you know, anything's possible if you work hard towards it, which is exactly what our sport is about, to be honest.
We're not allowed to say that. That's trademarked, that line, mate.
Oh, I think I trade.
That's that other race.
I think I trade. And yeah, it's awesome. And I think, what these athletes will find is there'll be that competitive edge, like probably the Thursday, the Friday, they'll be sizing each other up.
Yeah.
Who's doing what, and then 5 minutes after the gun goes, no one cares, and it's about getting everyone to the finish line and having as much fun and working as hard as you can. And that's probably another great thing about events like this. They stop being that ultra competitive, arrogant, to just a really supportive community bearing themselves to achieve something far more ordinary and extraordinary.
Right, so our next one is an interesting one. So Greg Jenkins, 46-year-old, he's a local. He's from down Caloundra way, Dicky Beach officially. He's first of the two athletes from local tri club, Caloundra Tri Club. Caloundra Tri Club has an interesting quirk in their club where everyone gets a nickname, which is an animal. Now, Jess Dudley raced last year. I can't actually think what her nickname is, but Sam Cook, who's been an athlete here, done World Championships, been on the dream team. So Sam Cook is Toucan Sam, for those of you that know Cookie. But Greg Jenkins is actually Pigeon. So let's maybe have a chat in race time and talk to his crew and find out why he's Pigeon, because I actually don't know why he's Pigeon. But he's someone that did Ultra 355 up in Hervey Bay. So has experience in 3-day racing at 8 hours a day. And knowing Greg, he'll transfer that to 3 12-hour days pretty easily, and we'll have some fun out there for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And a really solid crew. Cookie's his team captain. So all the knowledge will be there. And he's done plenty of racing over the years.
Yeah, and he's done something outside the racing world. He's sailed from New Zealand to Fiji on a 42-foot yacht. So that's another you put sailing into anything, and then you're risking your life. So he's willing to go out there and put it on the line, I'm guessing.
Put it on the line, absolutely.
He might get along with Shane Duffy. Maybe they can go fishing.
I don't know how much sailing Duff does. I think Duff just drops the line in.
Oh dear. Righto, Anthony Older, 47-year-old. So he's been putting in the hard yards with his sponsor, the Brighton Jetty Bakery. So he is primed for Kenilworth Bakery. So yeah, he's got former athlete Alana Sharman on his crew that he attributes with his desire to complete the race. So yeah, looking forward to Anthony give it a crack. He was an army medic. This is a long time ago, but another one that's served the country and will be in the running for that Ultramate award.
And his wife is a sports nutritionist. So I don't know how that necessarily weighs up with his donut fueling strategy, but we'll see what sort of Nick he is when we get to meet him on Thursday and Friday.
Rightio. So then we move into our second Wheatley, Matthew Wheatley. So Matt is athlete number 77, carrying the number from his early years competing. Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, has had a crack at it a couple of times before and went about 28 hours back in 2021. Four? Has he done four? I thought he had three.
He's got four. He's
done four.
16, 17, 19, and 21.
So you'd be betting on Matt to hit that finish line. Yeah, it might be a little bit of the family rivalry. Who's going to get there first, Andrew or Matt, this year?
And also known as the Mayor of Launceston. So he's another international athlete from Tassie. And I'm not sure if I came up with the nickname of the Mayor of Launceston, but we'll continue to push through it. One of the all-time great blokes you'll ever meet. So for anyone that's in the race or crewing, make sure you get around and say hello to Matty. And he'll steal the microphone from me, I've got no doubt, over the course of the 3 days to have a yarn. So he's a ripper. He knows what it's all about. He basically embodies what this event is, to be honest.
Yeah. And his daughter is also an Ironman athlete. And she was going to do the Ultraman race at one point. Is that correct?
That is correct. And I went to look down at the crew names, and I noticed that she wasn't there. So she probably got a better offer than sitting in a car with Dad for a few days.
No, she's team captain. Good work there, Tim.
She is. I missed that completely. All right. Well, yeah. So
she's actually the best athlete at the race of the Wheatleys. She's a world champion.
Well, that's true. And they
at Highland dancing.
And they all did an Ironman together. There's 3 generations. So Matt, Ava, and Pete. Was it New Zealand? I think they did New Zealand together.
Does ring a bell. Can we chalk that up for you guys to sort out over the 3 days? Just add that to the list.
I do remember reading something about the 3 generations competing together in one. I don't know which one it was.
Yeah, that'll be good fun. They'll be good fun. They're a crew that you want to be around. That's for sure.
And so she was signed up for doing the in 2020, which of course did not happen. So why did she not come back in the year since? That's something else we got to get to the bottom of that. Yeah.
I think study might have played a role there, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to the bottom of that. No worries.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so next one down the list is Ben Yates. So Ben's 47. He was part of the Dream Team last year. Knew a bit about the race, but wanted to be sure that this was his thing and what he wanted to do. So he came along last year and was part of the Dream Team, helped execute the 2024 race. 2025 is going to be on the start line. So Yeah, he was going to do Ultra 355 in 2024, which we ended up not being able to run. So he just held his own and went around. He ended up doing about 383 kilometres. Did a 3-day race by himself just to make sure he was going to be ready to crush Australia.
He's ready to rock and roll. Plenty of racing over a number of years, and just really consistent. And then also like surf boats as well, water rowing. So we'll be strong, endurance. Yeah, I'm not. There's how fast is my only question when it comes to Ben.
So our second Caloundra Tri Club member, Daryl Kirko. So Daryl is the bearded dragon. Now that will become extremely obvious when you meet Daryl as to why he got that nickname. You will not have to ask questions about that. Daryl's a new dad. He's just had a bub in the last couple of weeks with his lovely partner Fee. She's also heavily into triathlon. Looking forward to seeing Daryl go around with lots of support from Caloundra Tri Club there as well. President of Caloundra Tri Club is on his crew. And Jess Dudley, who I mentioned earlier from the Caloundra Tri Club, who finished last year, is there. So, it's looking forward to seeing Daryl go around. He's a lot of personality, and he'll be good value for you guys on the mic, I think.
Yeah, definitely. He hasn't been in the sport for all too long, but has thrown himself right into it. I think sort of kicked off his triathlon career around 2019, but has raced a lot since then. So plenty of Ks in those legs for Daryl.
Okay, and the last in our 40-49 is Mahesh from India. Now, Mahesh has got a story to tell. It's a bit of a tragic, annoying, expensive story, whatever you want to say. But he actually, his visa denied last year, race week. He was due to fly out, and someone somewhere found out that he'd coloured outside a box somewhere on his visa application and actually had it revoked. So he missed getting to the race last year. But the number he was allocated, he's going to run with again this year. So even though he's athlete 371, which kind of falls in our 2024 numbers, he wanted to use that number that had been allocated to him in the 2025 race. So first Australia for him, racing with 371. Lots of running in his background and lots of Ironmans.
Yeah, and also he's jumped on the bike too. Another Indian with a lot of cycling. So when they get over here, they'll probably really, really appreciate our road system. So he'll have. I don't think he'll have no trouble with being accustomed to the distance. Yeah, as you said, Jeff, like 8 Ironman. He's completed 5 half Ironman. He knows his way around a course.
And when you're talking about the cycling, he actually did what he lists as a super randonnier of 200 kilometers, 300 kilometers, 400 kilometers, and 600 kilometers. So that's going to be good times on the bike. That'll lead to hopefully a good time on the bike.
Righty ho. Well, we're going to move into 50 to 59s. So starting off with Craig Jackson, who raced in 2023. Craig's actually a new Aussie. He's actually migrating to Australia from New Zealand. He's seen the light. So he's bought himself a one-way ticket to come and race this year, and won't be going home. But yeah, Craig's a lovely guy. I first met Craig, I think, on the Wednesday of the race. He had a lump in the back of his wetsuit when I saw him in the Noosa Surf Club car park because a dolphin swam past him when he went for his test swim on the Tuesday or Wednesday. And I don't know if anyone swam with a dolphin, but if you're swimming and you're focused on swimming and a grey fish-looking thing goes past you, he walked out of the water. He was about 200 metres offshore, and I think he walked across the water to the beach. And had a little lump in the back of his wetsuit when I saw him. So he's keen to get in the water and enjoy the wildlife in Noosa.
And he's got heaps of races. I think he's something like, hasn't he got something like 30 half Ironman and 17 Ironman he's done.
Yeah, well. I don't think he misses many Ironman New Zealand races, that's for sure.
No.
And he's been in Kona as recently as 2024.
The next one in that age category is Stuart King. So Stuart King's a good character coming up from Victoria. Stu, actually, I've spent a little bit of time with Stu in Mexico. He was registered to race Ultra 355 in Mexico, where we had a little bit of political issue that meant the race didn't happen, but we had a really cool holiday anyway. Went over and stayed in Tony Horton's place in Cozumel. But Stu's a racer. He did Harvey Bay 355 in 2023. Does a lot of racing, lots and lots of racing, and anything and everything just to have an experience. I think, what did he say? 40? What do we got here? 42 half Ironman. Had a massive bike crash in Vietnam. Finished 70.3 Vietnam a few years ago with a broken arm. Fell off his bike and thought, oh well, I'm close enough to the end. Let's just finish it off with a broken arm. So
that's an Ultraman.
There's some pretty impressive photos of that day around. So yeah, but Kaylee is his wife that travels with him. She's apparently, according to her, she's awarded Stu the Wanker of the Year award 25 years running. So bit of a character, Stu. So you'll enjoy meeting him and getting him on some of the coverage in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, obviously, as you said, Jeffo, plenty of race experience. I mean, 42 half Ironmans is extraordinary.
That's almost a house. Oh dear. Okay, getting towards the end now. So Ian Blatchford, 51. So Ian raced with us last year and just didn't get enough time on course. So he's coming back again for 2025. He just missed out not having Tim call him across the line, actually, was what he said.
I think that's probably bringing a few back, to be honest. Yeah. And again, like you say, he's done it last year. He's been to the 70.3 World Championships, finishing on the podium more often than not. And he does say it was a long time ago, but he's a lifetime iron distance best of 9:45. Yeah. So absolutely no slouch across the endurance racing scene. So I think he might be one to watch. I'll just say that and just put heat pressure on him.
well, last year he finished 11th in 28 hours 3 minutes. So that's going to be up there again, I think.
Okay, and the next one, we'll introduce him. He doesn't need an introduction. Athlete number 286, Mr. Shane Duffy. So back for another crack at Australia. Obviously famed for doing 6 UMs in a calendar year. Ultraman, 515s, however we want to classify them. But a guy that loves the distance and the people love Shane.
Oh, and I can personally attest to that. Sorry, Tim. I got to meet Shane at the Arizona, and I was crewing for him there, and then spent some time with him again in Canada when he came back to crew for Simon Cochrane. And yeah, he's number one stand up. He's got that Guinness Book of World Record for doing those 6 UMs in 1 year. And he has a ton of experiences other than that as well. And one thing that when I talked to him on the podcast as a athlete in profile, I got to find out that he had spent some time in Canada previous to coming to the Ultraman event here, because he was with the Women's World Cup of soccer, where he was one of the coaches. So he's got a lot of different experiences, and it's a super nice guy. You don't meet a nicer guy than Shane Duffy, other than maybe Tim. I haven't met Tim yet, but
that's true. No, I don't think so. I think Shane got me covered, to be fair. But Shane also came and met me. So he raced. I'm pretty sure he raced Ultraman Florida.
It was Florida. It was between Florida and Arizona.
And drove overnight, something like 24 hours, like literally drove straight through the night, parked up his car, and ran with me for a day on my run when I was running around the world, and I was in the States at the same time he was, and he came and ran with me, which was pretty extraordinary. 2 days I think he ended up doing with me, and then when I was running up the coast of Australia, he also came out and looked after me for about a week. So a ripping bloke,
Yeah.
one of the real good guys. And if you look at his racing summary, you need about 3 or 4 pages to go through it. There is so much of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and lots of, obviously he's got a lot of experience, but on his team, Steve Naylor, who's managed Shane's Ultra stuff for a long time, is along again, and his paddler and a integral team member will be Keith Maricic, who's a alumni as well. Keith raced with us a few years ago and used to have the bike shop that looked after everyone, and is another cracking bloke. So that's a great team. That'll have lots of stories across the weekend, and another chapter to Shane's journey.
Mm-hmm. And Shane also stole one of your dream team to accompany him on some of his races when he was doing the 6 in 1 year. He had Gail come over and be his
Magic
masseuse.
Hands Gail.
Yeah.
Yes, so Gail's along. She's one of those people that's been involved in every single event. So she's ponied up for her 10th event. So her and Mike do a wonderful job for us now with their modified format with the breakfast. So we made the breakfast a little bit more informal, and it's an Aussie barbecue breakfast. So her and Mike managed that for us on the Friday before our race briefing, which is awesome. And then Gail gets her crew out to massage everyone at the end of each race day, and it's a thing that she loves doing, and she proudly says she's massaged every Australia winner. So I think she's claiming that's the thing that gets them across the line. But these are the people that we collect along the way with this sport. We talked about the way that Shane helped him on his run. Gail's someone who is always willing to help, and I get messages from her just checking in. Is there anything I can do? She's local down there. The rest of the team are, not miles away, some of us, but some of us are a long way away, and having people on the ground in Noosa to execute some things leading into the event are necessary, and Gail's one of those people. Our tribe, our family is really pretty special around the country and around the world, as we know.
Well, Gail actually flew down to Sydney to massage me from the Sunshine Coast whilst I was on my run. So I think it just speaks to the caliber of person that she is. And I was just going to say, if you can get Jeff off the massage table, then Gail will potentially you will get a massage from her if Jeff's
I can say with confidence that I think I'm the only dream team member that has not had a Gail massage.
Well, it's in my contract that I get 2 to 3.
I've had one. I've had one when she was in Canada.
Yeah, what's going on? Maybe I think that's a you thing, Jeff.
Actually, I think Jason, up until last year, Jason hadn't had one, and I forced him into having one just so I could be the martyr and say that I'm the only one that hasn't had one. So yeah.
Hello, listener. Just jumping in here with a quick apology because as we were recording, Jeff's AirPods ran out of juice. So we're going to have just a little bit of a different sound from him for the rest of the episode.
Hello, so Marcus Smith, 53-year-old, having his first crack at this. Marcus is super keen. He won't mind me saying. I think he did 3 applications in the end. And after each one, emailed me to make sure I got it, and then thought about some more things that he could put in to make sure that we selected him for an invite to the race. So super keen guy to give this a crack. Is it PT? No, physio. I knew he was something kind of medical. So he's a physio, so he knows how to look after himself. And I know he's absolutely looking forward to having a good go around at done 37 Ironmans. That's up there with the tallies that we've seen. Been to the Ironman World Championships 8 times. So his most recent time is just under 13 hours. That's an amazing time for an Ironman. Not the fastest in the field, but certainly someone that knows how to get the races finished. So pretty sure he's going to go well. And like I said, was super keen to do this race and is looking at giving it a good crack. Richard Doze is our next athlete. So he's 55 years old. Dozer is the name he goes by. So he's been Ironman Port Mac was his latest result, 11.5 hours, but done lots of ultramarathons, so plenty of 100K and 100-mile races under his belt. Got cleaned up by a car back in 2022, but he's got back from that and got back to full fitness. And is going to be another one who's going to be pretty speedy in the swim. So his official 10K time for a swim that he's got is just a minute over 3 hours, but that was in pretty rough conditions. He's managed a 12K in under 3 hours. So 2:48 for a 12K swim he did back in the day. So he's he's going to be out of that water not long after we finish our breakfast on Saturday morning. He is coached by Steve Foster, who's, we'll call him a legend. He's been involved in this race here and in triathlon in Australia for a very, very long time. So, lots of experience there for him. No doubt Stephen will be cheering from afar. He's not coming up to crew for him. He's got his wife as his team captain and a couple of friends. So, let's hope Dozer has a good 3 days out in Noosa.
Mm-hmm. And I see for all of the races he's done over all of the years, he's also put on there that he's never DNF'd. So that's an impressive thing when you're doing ultras to be able to say you've never DNF'd. So we know he'll carry himself to the finish line somehow.
He'll tough it out. So next one in the 50 to 59 is Trevor Garvey. He's 55, so he's coming to us from North Queensland. So he's from up in Cairns. So he'll be used to the heat. If we get some heat down in Noosa, he'll be prepared for that. But generally, it's the weather's pretty mild, except for the odd monsoon that we get. So he's a sub 13-hour Ironmaner, so can do that. He's done 7 Ironmans and just again wants to test himself and become part of the tribe and meet some people that have that ultra psyche and love of life and pushing themselves. So active member with the Cairns Crocs, the triathlon club up in Cairns, which is great. And he's bringing his wife down to a crew for him and his son. So he's coached there in the car as well. So be able to keep him on track. And it's always good to see someone like a coach who's put in the time in getting the athlete at the start line, then come along and crew as well, because that crew is just so important. So someone that knows you and your body is super important.
Mm-hmm.
We're down to the last couple in that age group. So Paul Giddings, returning athlete. I love Paul's story. Paul raced last year and he said to his lovely partner Rose, "I'll never do another Ultraman." And true to his word, he's not doing another one. He's doing the same one. So he cruised around course last year. The boys called me from out on course on day 2 and said, "There's this bloke at the back of the field and he's wobbling along on his bike and he's just like he's out for a Sunday ride." Well, it was Paul. He lives on the Sunshine Coast. He rides the course most weekends. He knows exactly how long it takes him and he knows exactly how hard he wanted to push. So he was doing the pace he wanted. So he'd been dropped by the bunch. We do our lead out on the start of day 2 to get everyone safely through the main part of Noosa. It's about 8 kilometres. And Paul had been dropped by the police car and the lead car and the other 50 athletes, but he knew how fast he wanted to ride, and our lead out was too fast for him. And true to his word, he cruised around that course on day 2. I don't think it's ever cruising to do 270 plus kilometres, but he knew exactly what pace he needed to do and where he needed to put the effort in, and had the biggest smile the whole weekend. Loved it, and loved it so much he's coming back again this year. So
Yeah.
he's been a rock to a couple of athletes this year. Kathy and Leanne have done a lot of riding with Paul across the course, both day 1 and day 2 course. And I know there's been lots of chats and catch ups in the athlete chat that we have for the athletes competing this year, and Paul's taken them out a lot of times, and they're very familiar and confident in the course now because of Paul's tutelage. So a lovely guy. Paul helped a few years as team captain again for some people before he took on the race. So someone who gave back before he actually participated in the race. So got a lot of time for Paul. It's great to see him out again. Probably won't see him back next year. Well, hopefully he's applied for London Marathon. I had a chat to him just a couple of days ago. So he's hoping to get a spot in the ballot to the London Marathon next year. So if he gets that, we definitely won't see him helping or racing at UM, but we do get to see him this year for his second consecutive crack at it.
Righto. So at 56 years old, someone that's well known to the UM Australia family is Christian Jacoby. So Christo's knocked off a couple of UM Australias, a UM Ultraman Canada. He's also done Israel as an interesting side. So Christo is part of the dream team, being part of our crew as the technical official, so referee, and been integral to the race for a very long time. And we love that Christo's out there giving it a crack again this year.
Yeah, it's all awesome to see. So I obviously been away for the last couple of years, and then before that, Christo couldn't make it for one reason or another. So I haven't seen him for a few years. But again, just like a few other people that we've spoken about, he is one of the good guys. So it'd be great to see him towing the start line as opposed to having to play the villain all the time as our technical official on course. So it'd be really good. He's another ripping bloke, plenty of experience. I mean, as you said, Jeffo, 4 Ultramans, but one thing that keeps coming up, so many South Africans athletes, and you always look at their bio and it'll always have Comrades Marathon. So that's on my hit list as well. And he's done it 5 times. So for those not familiar with Comrades, Google it, but it's 94, 96 kilometers, and it changes direction each year. So one year they call it uphill, and the other year they call it the downhill. So he's done it 5 times, and it would be great to see him out racing. It'd be awesome.
I bet he's done a downhill every time.
That wouldn't surprise.
Now, I saw one thing, and maybe you guys you can check into this and see if this is legit. But he says he's going to compete on a mountain bike to challenge himself.
Yeah, I reckon him getting through the distance will be the challenge. I'll believe the mountain bike when I see it, I reckon. What do you think, Jeffo?
Yeah, I think it was a dream. I think he's possibly given it up. He's had some shoulder trouble, which probably would be more comfortable on a mountain bike, but I think it's about the time. He kind of knew it was going to take every bit of 12 hours to do it on the mountain bike, and he doesn't want to be on the bike for that long. So, yeah, okay. I can't confirm or deny that, literally, don't know. But if he gives it a crack, it'll be interesting to see.
Right, and so the last athlete in our 50 to 59 age group is also a returning athlete, is Steve York. So Steve's coming to us from New Zealand. He's got some demons. He was a little bit slow on day 3 last time he finished, and missed the cutoff. So he was a participant. So he finished the whole course, but he didn't make the cutoff for day 3. So he had some knee problems. I've had a couple of chats to him this year, and he's still got knee problems, but he's managing it, and he's absolutely wanting to make the cutoff each day this year. So he's had a little bit of chopping and changing with crew with some illness, which is a bit sad, but he's got good crew coming with him, and is ready to make the 12 hours each day there this year. So we welcome Steve back, and see if we can see he had a kit on that was like a big black and yellow stripes, and Steve's a big bloke. He's probably a couple inches taller than me, so he's well over 6 foot. Lovely guy, and I know that we'll all be cheering for him to get there with him. We'd packed up 2 years ago when he raced. Literally everything was empty. We were over having pizza across the road. Off the top of my head, it was about 14 and a half hours. So it was good couple of hours after we packed up the finish line. But his crew sent us a message saying he'd just kept walking. He'd walked about the last 20 kilometres, I think, and was just determined to finish the distance. He knew that he wasn't going to be classed as an official finisher, but he just wanted to get the distance done. And we all paused having our dinner late at night on the Monday night to duck back across to the beach and welcome Steve in. But I know he's super keen to get down to the 12 hours this year.
Yeah, he did put on his application unfinished business.
Unfinished business indeed. So let's hope he gets to finish that business. That would be deserving of him. He's definitely giving it a good crack. I didn't check, but I know he did Ironman New Zealand again this year. So he's in good shape and just needs to double that run on day 3 from his Ironman. That's all.
There you go. That's all.
So we look at the 60 to 69 age group. We just got 2 athletes in there, both returning, both pretty special. So the first one is John Domandl. So some of you might remember that name. He raced 2015. John's visually impaired, so he sees blurry blobs, I think is about how he describes it. But yeah, needs a guide all the way. So has tethered to someone in the swim. Jumps as stoker on the back of the tandem bike for the end of day 1 and day 2. And then he'll have both a tethered guide on the run, and he'll also he's got a big run crew because he needs a little bit of safety, people sort of running in front, just to make sure the path's nice and clear for him and the guide to come through behind. So pretty amazing athlete to be taking on the race at 64, to be taking on the race visually impaired, both amazing things, let alone adding those 2 together.
Yeah, first, and another, so Johnny D, very good friend of mine. I actually stayed at his house on the run. He actually came and ran with me, which was awesome for a day when I was running through. He's from Newcastle. Well, I don't know if he's from Newcastle, but that's where he resides now. 2015 he did it. It was the first vision impaired person to complete it at the time. He's also got the world record for fastest vision impaired Ironman. Went to the Paralympic Games in 1988. He's Walker-Coda track, mate. If New South Wales Fitness Professional of the Year, like he's an extraordinary guy. And his partner, is just as extraordinary. There's two of the great people. But if you want a quick conversation, Johnny's not your guy. Right? If you want a quick, short, sharp, and if you're there for the long haul, have a chat to Johnny because he can tell a story. I think he could out-talk me.
Yeah.
And one of the best stories of John was we were at the pub one night. I forget what year it was. And if Peter Hudson listens to this podcast, he'll already be on the floor laughing. A young lady lost her contact lens, and John swung into action on his hands and knees looking for the contact lens on the floor. As we all laughed because he knocked over his white cane in the process of looking for this girl's contact lens on the floor at the Noosa Surf Club.
Very funny.
When I was looking up some of the athlete information, I can't remember if I saw this in a video or I read it, but in his previous race at Ultraman, I guess they got to a hill, him and his pilot, and they were like, well, we need to make up a little bit of time, so that they went for it down the hill. And apparently afterwards he asked, like, well, how fast did we go? And it was like over 90 kilometers an hour. And I can only imagine, like, going 90 kilometers an hour when you're controlling a bike is one thing. Most people aren't going to do it. They're going to be too scared. But doing it as a tandem, where if one of you does something a little bit off, it's got to be next level. So the bravery of doing something like that.
You'll ask Jason Clark about the time they were doing a bit of a course recce and John was in the back, and they're driving along the course, and the blind guy in the back says, "Did you just take a wrong turn?" And sure enough, he was right. Jason had just taken a wrong turn on course, and the blind guy corrected him. There's Jason's navigation for you. So yeah,
Unbelievable.
the other athlete in our 60 to 69 to round out the field is also a returning athlete, Adam Maud, who's 64 years old, giving it a crack this year. So he raced back in 2017. So he'll race with number 111 on his back from back in 2017. Farmer from down in rural New South Wales. He's going to go and give Ironman Australia, Port Macquarie, a crack this weekend, and then back up for Ironman Ultraman Australia a week later. So he's pretty serious about it, and is a really good personality coming along to have his second go after an 8-year hiatus from
Yeah, so obviously he's got plenty of pedigree as well. He's obviously getting on now, but multiple Ironman triathlons, I think something like 15, but he'll have, by the time we get to the race, he'll have done 16 because he's doing one this weekend. And then really cool is that he's been in the local, like the Rural Fire Brigade, for something like 43 years, which is pretty cool, out in Mudgee in New South Wales, so regional New South Wales. So yeah, it's going to be awesome to see him again too. It's been a while.
And his previous time back in 2017 was a 29:33. So something for him to use as a marker on this race. So with all of these athletes now profiled, I know that people in Australia from time to time, once in a while, like to put a little wager on sports, Jeff. So if you were going to put a wager on some sporting events here, are there, of these people, who do you think we should be looking at as being some of the favorites?
Look, I don't think you get very good odds on it, but I think Tim Belstead is going to be the athlete that we say hello to first out of the swim on Saturday morning. Look, I don't know whether it's head or heart betting, but I do think Kirsty Sheehan is going to take the tape overall winner. I've probably got little doubt. I don't know, probably a little bit of doubt, but I think she'll probably take the tape literally on run day early. I know she's in fantastic form. She's been looking after her body and training really well. She's very smart with these distances. Mm-hmm. So I would bet very good money that she'll be the fastest runner on day 3. It just depends how much time she's given up to some of the guys on day 1 and day 2 as to whether she can actually take the win. But if you're going to make,
and she does have the fastest Ironman time of anybody in the race.
Yeah, so definitely fast.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. So yeah, I'd put my $10 on Kirst for the win. But it's my race, so I won't bet on it. That's insider trading.
and I think probably Greg Jenkins might be one there as well to watch out for.
I think Greg's pigeon from the Caloundra Tri Cup. I think he's going to be looking after himself. He wants to make sure he gets to that finish line. You've got to belt yourself a little bit to get through the race overall, but I think he'll be belting himself just enough to make sure he gets to that finish line each day, and probably racing himself more than anyone else. It's going to be interesting to see. I mentioned Tim Belstead on the swim. Obviously, very, very quick elsewhere and a very good athlete. But we all know this 3-day racing is strange. And you fuel yourself. That's one of those biggest things is day 1 and day 2, you want to get through it. If you're going for speed, you want to get it through it quick. But you need to eat and eat and eat all the things day 1 and day 2 so that your body's able to recover and is ready for that day 3 run. Kirst obviously has the runs on the board. She's finished the event before very good time. So we know that she's got all those things. She's got a good team with experience behind her. But I think Tim's going to keep her honest and And the swim's going to be interesting with those few people that we mentioned that have good swim times.
Yeah.
And 10K swim, it's a hell of a way to start an event. You can knock out that swim under 3 hours, which we've probably got half a dozen people that will. That's pretty impressive. So looking forward to getting down there in Noosa and kicking off for our 10th anniversary and celebrating that. With these athletes we profile, but also a lot of people that are coming along for the breakfast on Friday with us to celebrate the fact that we started this, effectively 11 years ago, but it's 10 years, 10th anniversary. We lose one because of COVID, sort of everyone's dealing with that. But it's going to be an exciting time and it'd be interesting to see who gets it all finished. We talk about the fastest ones, but I love those people that tough it out and keep grinding away and get there under the 36 hours. I really, we're down to 41. We've lost a few in the last few weeks through injury, which it's always disappointing. But if we start with 41, as it looks like we will, my dream is to get 41 to the finish. That's always the goal, is that everyone that manages to hit that start line gets to the finish line, and that's the best feeling because they've put so much into it.
Mm-hmm. And again, our partnership on doing this live stream is something I'm truly looking forward to. I'm not looking forward to losing the sleep, but I'm looking forward to trying to pull this off and bringing it to the rest of the world. And for people that are worried about, well, I don't want to tune in during the swim because they're just going to be off swimming for a few hours, I've got lots of things planned to make sure that we are filling that time. We are going to be going out on the water. We are going to be seeing the swimmers. We're going to be seeing the swimmers from the shore. We have some athlete profiles that we're going to run as they're out on the swim to introduce you to all the athletes. And there will be lots of stuff to make sure that we are introducing you to the dream team and the crews that are sitting on the beach waiting. We will fill that time with interesting stuff. So please don't wait to join in after the swim. Join us right from the beginning on day one.
Yeah, it's a great time to be covering some of that stuff. From my team's point of view and from having been crew, that is typically, it's a nice little bit of downtime. It's quiet. There's not a lot you can do. Where myself and Jason run that swim course and we're in regular comms with the water safety guys, but there's not a whole heap you can do unless there's a problem. So that's the time when we are going to catch some crew. We know that we've got David and Ben yet teed up to talk to some of the crews, go and have breakfast with some of them and see what their prep looks like, getting ready to head out on the road for day one. Mm-hmm. And hear some of those stories and we're going to have the jet ski out. So we'll video some of that. We'll chat to some paddlers, we'll chat to some water safety people to hear how they're all going out there, and you'll get to see a bit of beautiful Noosa. So let's hope the weather behaves and it's nice and flat. It's been pretty amazing weather the last couple of days. Sean O'Clancy, who's a big supporter of ours and a lifeguard down at the beach down there, keeps sending us these amazing photos through of the beach. So let's hope it stays like that. And the coverage is just going to be so good. We're glad that you came on board, Lara, to do this, to show our race and our country to the world. It is, although it sounds huge at 36 hours, our team always says we kind of work so hard and you get to Saturday morning and then you snap your fingers and it's Tuesday night and the awards are over and you're like, what just happened for 4 days? So I think that's going to be a bit with the coverage. If I wasn't there on the ground running the event, I know it'd be for my parallel. It's like at Bathurst, our endurance car racing event over here. The TV goes on at 6 a.m. and it's still on at 6 p.m, and you've ducked in and out. You've done a couple of loads of washing or done some meal prep, and I think that's what it's going to be like for the 3 days of that you're going to see it. You're probably going to watch it because of the athlete that but you're going to fall in love with some other athlete that's got a story that resonates with you, or they've had some drama and they're coming back from it and you're rooting for them to make that cut off. Those stories just organically happen. And it's going to be amazing to see it happen and see it recorded and be able to show that. So it's awesome what you're doing. And we're glad that we've got a few crews out here that can help you do that. And the worldwide coverage, coming from Australia via Canada. So it's great stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So listeners, just check the website. Check the Facebook site. All the times are listed depending on where you are in the world for start times. Obviously running a little bit ahead of what is the actual race start, and then running until the final finisher comes in, and a couple stories after that. So we'll probably be running closer to 13 hours a day each day. So hopefully you will be able to join us, and you'll be able to follow along with these people that you've now learned about in the podcast and see what it is like to be at an Ultraman race if you've never been at one before. And the Australia 2025 is celebrating its 10th anniversary, and you all get to be a part of it if you tune into that. So that's our dream. Dream team is going to make it happen. I'm going to facilitate a little bit of it along the way. Can't wait. Thanks again, Jeff, and thanks again, Tim, for joining us.
See you, dudes.
Yep. Look forward to having a cracker across the 3 days in Noosa.
Hey, if you liked what you heard today, please tell a friend and be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. We'd appreciate it if you'd rate and review the show while you're there. Drop the names of the people you think we should interview, and we'll get in touch with them and make that happen. Thank you for listening to 515, the Ultra Podcast, a production of 55 Enterprises. Now really, go subscribe now before you forget.